Okay, for our math warm-up today, we are going to do some inequalities. So if you would, number your boards from 1 to 6, and you're going to determine whether to put greater than, less than, or equal to symbols in between those two values. So go ahead and pause your video and do that now, please. Okay, let's see how you did. So for this first one, 2 and 5/10 is greater than 25 hundredths. 81 and 3/10 is equal to 81 and 30 hundredths. 0 and 71 hundredths is equal to 0 and 7,110 thousandths. I think that was 10 thousandths. 110 and 5/10 is less than 115. 638 thousandths is less than 6 and 4/10. 9 and 958 thousandths is greater than 9 and 95799. I'm not going to say all of that as far as decimals go. So how did you do? So for your math message today, you are going to be performing a task in class where you're going to use what is called a grab-it gauge. And you're going to record 10 reaction times on page 230 in your student math journal. Now, since you are doing this virtually, you're not going to have a copy of this page. So we're going to talk about what kinds of things could we do to use instead of having that particular document. But before we do that, let's take a look at the directions over here that are going to explain what you are going to do. So the activity itself says that it's going to take 2 people to perform the experiment. The tester is going to hold the grab-it gauge at the top, so you're going to look at the diagram here. The contestant gets ready to catch the gauge by placing his or her thumb and index finger at the bottom of the gauge without quite touching it. See diagram. So you can see here, when the contestant is ready, the tester lets go of the gauge. The contestant grabs it as quickly as possible with his or her thumb and index finger. The number grabbed by the contestant shows that person's reaction time to the nearest hundredth of a second. The contestant then records that reaction time in the data table shown below. So this is your data table here. Notice that there are 10 boxes, and over here I said that you need to record 10 reaction times. Partners take turns being tester and contestant. Each person should perform the experiment 10 times using his or her right hand. Even if you're left-handed, you're going to use your right hand. Now, I understand that you may not have someone at home that can help you do this. So you may have to try just to use both of your hands and see if you can do it that way. But what I would like for you to do is take a sheet of paper, you're going to fold it in half lengthwise, and I want you just to do the best to copy these decimals here on this left side of this example, and then give yourself a starting position. And we'll just try to make do the best that we can with the supplies that we have. So you're going to pause your video, go ahead and make yourself some kind of grab-it gauge, and then you're going to perform those 10 reaction times and record your results in your student math journal on 1 through 10 here. So your lesson today is estimating reaction time. The reason we're doing this lesson today is for you to be able to find reaction time to a stimulus, to examine data and line plots, and how we're going to go about it relates back to your math message today. So you're going to be conducting an experiment to test your reaction time, which reaction time is basically how quickly you react to a stimulus. Then you're going to be using decimal computation to interpret your results. So let's talk about the steps that you're going to do to complete this activity today. So first of all, you're going to be performing your trials. You're going to record data in an organized manner. So you may be asked questions like list your data from least to greatest, for example. You need to be able to answer questions based on data, and you're going to find the typical, or you're going to even out the data like we've done in a previous lesson when we talked about the typical 4th grade student or typical 5th grade student. We evened out that data by adding all of the data points together and dividing by the number of data points. So this would be an example of a data set from typical right-hand reaction times of 5th graders. So this is similar to what I would like for you to do. Organizing your data, putting it in a line plot, and then answering questions based on that information. So let's summarize. This lesson is all about reaction time. And reaction time is how quickly something or someone reacts to a stimulus. Data can be collected from different kinds of trials to be used to find the, quote, typical data point, or we can even out the data to get better results. So let's knock this out. I'll see you in class.